Hello and welcome to another episode of the CAGED CANARY podcast. I'm your host, Mahdi Gilbert, Mahdi Gilbert, here at Before Magic. And today I wanted to talk about something that we don't really think about, but we need to think about how to do it in a balanced way, and that is watching magic. How do you watch magic? And as a magician, as somebody who does this for a living, or even if you do it as an amateur, you are going to be seeing a lot of magic in your life, and that's a great thing. But you need to do it from a balanced and healthy perspective and way. So, for example, I'm reading a book by one of my friends, Miguel Gomez, and inside the book is a DVD of his effects. I have not watched that DVD yet. I will watch it after I'm done the book, but I want to read the book first so that I can imagine his magic that I'm not familiar with, and then later on I can watch it. And I did the same thing with Juan Tamariz's book, Monica, which is a great book on card magic, and I read that book cover to cover over and over again, and there's so much magic in it, and you find your own way of doing it. A lot of these effects I had never seen Juan Tamariz perform, and a few years after I read the book, a few years ago, Dan and Dave put out a DVD collection. I forget what it's called, Monica. I don't know where my DVD collection is. It's called the Monica Miracles or something like that. And it's Juan Tamariz on video performing a lot of these tricks. And for me, that was the first time seeing them on video. And it was amazing because I had done these routines. I had my own way of doing it, my own style. And seeing Juan do these on DVD was like, wow, I do it my own way. And the reason why I do it my own way is I wasn't influenced by Juan, seeing Juan perform these effects. And because it's so hard to forget after you see somebody do something, you get influenced by it. That's going to be a separate thing that I want to talk about, and being influenced by other magicians, especially on video and learning magic. But I want to talk about watching magic. And so getting into magic, you're going to see a lot of magic. Some of my favorite magicians, I've watched their specials. I've watched them perform over and over again. I'll give you an example. David Blaine. I have watched all his specials multiple times. I don't know how many times, but multiple times over the year. The same thing with Darren Brown. Sometimes I'll just sit down, maybe once every 2 years, once every year, and I'll take a day and I'll go through a magician's work. I'll do that with Ascanio. I'll do that with Vernon. I'll do that with Babel. Anybody who I have a lot of video of their work, especially when I'm working on their work, whatever, doesn't need to be working on it. I'll just sit down and review it, even though I've seen it over and over again. It's because I've grown, and because I've grown, I'm able to see it with new eyes. And that's an amazing thing, to see something grow throughout the years, and you don't appreciate different stuff. Or maybe you become critical after years and years of doing this. Maybe you look at something and you're like, I would have changed this in that show. Or you're seeing a magician do something technically, and you say to yourself, okay, this is an error. This is a mistake, and I know how to fix it because of my experience now. So that's a great thing when watching magic. Generally, though, I would say it doesn't really matter where you live. It's pretty much possible to see magic everywhere. And I'm not talking about good magic. You're not going to see good magic everywhere. You're going to not see good magic in most places. Even if you're in a major city, very rarely will you have the opportunity to see good magic. But I would say go see everything that you can. If there's a magician in town who's doing a show and it's a regular show, go see that show once every, maybe once every 3-4 months, once every 6 months. Go and see that show, even if it's the same show. If it changed, whatever. Go and see it over and over again. And it's not because you're going to learn anything from it. You could be learning a lot. But I want to talk about why you're going to see magic and what it is that you look for. So the first time you see any magic show, Whether you're going to Vegas and you're seeing David Copperfield, or you're going to New York and you're seeing Darren Brown on Broadway, whoever it is that you're going to see, just enjoy the show. The first time that you go there, just watch the show. Watch the show like a normal person. Don't be thinking about the lines. Don't be thinking about, the technique, the way the magician's staging thing, the lighting. Don't think. Just go, enjoy the experience. Just enjoy the experience. And breathe. Just go, and after that, you'll want to go see the show again. Probably it's a good idea to wait some time. I would wait at least a few weeks if you can. If you're on a trip and you're going to Vegas, go see everything multiple times if you can, just because you want to be able to look at different stuff every single time that you're going. But the first time you go, just really enjoy it. After that, I would say, look at the audience. Look at the show, look at the audience. What are your feelings about the magician? What are your feelings about their personality, their character, how they come off, their charisma? How is the audience looking at them? Is the audience feeling what you feel? Maybe you're enamored with this magician because you look up to them or whatever. Or maybe you're a magician and you look down at them and you think, oh, this guy's not that good. Forget about your own feelings for a moment. I mean, keep them in mind, but look at the audience and really be trying to read their mind, and you'll see the reactions. Are they laughing at the jokes? Are they amazed? Are they forced? How forced is the audience to do certain stuff? How much of what you see and what you hear from the audience is being cued and forced? There's performers who will come out and start clapping. Everybody, put your hand. I'm gonna do this again. If I get it right this time, you're all gonna give me a standing ovation. You get on your feet. How much of that is being forced and how much of that is being given, and just pay attention to all these things. You're not necessarily looking, for something special to spot something. Just watch, and try to understand what the audience is feeling at different moments of that set, of that show, and what that means to you. From a technical standpoint, when you are watching magic, what's fooling you? What's not fooling you? What's a strong secret? What's fooling the audience? What's not fooling the audience? This is really fascinating. You'll see a lot of magic. Just because something's fooling the audience doesn't mean it's good. But again, keep your eyes open. Look at what's fooling them. Look at what they're enjoying. Look at what they're really impacted by. Maybe if it's a small thing. You can see a lot of really, magic that I wouldn't think is very good. You probably don't think is very good either. But magicians get great, strong reactions from it. Pay attention and really watch and try to understand why that's happening. Why is this happening? What does it mean? Is this strong in the moment because it's visual? How does that leave the theater when the people go home and they think about it and they talk about it with their friends? What is that sensation like? These are all things that you're going to be watching for. So again, go see magic wherever you can. If there's a magician, if there's a group of magicians doing shows in your local area, go and see them. They don't even need to know if you're a magician. If you don't want to hang out with them, or if you want to get to know them, you can as well. But go and see as much as you can, as often as you can. This is really going to help you understand different stuff about magic. When we're talking about magic that's been recorded, magic on video, I would say watch all of it. I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. There's various projects focusing on magic. You have Magicana, who did their screening room, part of their website, where you have a ton of video clips from One-Time Ruiz doing a show out in Spain. You have a full series from Canada, and tons of magicians. You also have different YouTube channels that have magic archives. These are old shows. Here at Before Magic, we put some stuff up when we can. It's kind of tricky because of the copyright and all that stuff. And now with the duplications, it's even crazier. Anyways, I don't want to get into the YouTube thing. But just watch as much as you can. watch as much as you can, absorb as much as you can. Even if you can tell in the first 5 seconds that you're not going to like the act, that you're not going to like the magician, doesn't matter. Watch the whole thing. So many times I'll watch magicians, I'll spend hours and hours watching magicians that I don't really like, that I don't care for, but that all helps me. If I watch an hour or 2 hours of bad magic, but I get one line out of it, or an idea or a technique or just something that I can add that has so much value. This is like a treasure. And I'm not shopping for material when I'm looking at this stuff, but you're just constantly scanning stuff. And also you're learning. You learn a lot from seeing magicians that you like, magicians that you don't like. Pay attention to the music, pay attention to the way they're moving, the way they're addressing their audience. Obviously, one of the most important things that you should be paying attention to is their likability. Does the audience like them? This is a crucial factor in magic, something that magicians really don't understand, they don't want to talk about, but it's true. It's one of the most important things. Are they likable? Does the audience like them? Why does the audience like them? Pay attention to all this stuff and just watch and watch and watch. If you've watched something, like there's a lot of stuff I've watched once, I'm never going to watch it again. Like it's done. I'm over it. I've seen it. Tons of acts that I've seen. I don't need to see them ever again in my life. I'm good. But the things that you do like, the things that inspire you, the things that enchant you, I would say make a file, a folder on your computer and just save just whatever filing system you want, whether it's just the links or you want to put it in category by the genre of magic or the mood or whatever the idea. Just keep a record of things that you like so that, 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years, 10 years from now, you can fairly easily go and look at that stuff and be able to think about it. And maybe it really leads to something in your own work. Maybe it's just an inspirational thing, which always leads to stuff in your own work, in your own life. But create a system of organization and really just look at it and look at everything. And I would say set out time to really understand a magician, understand their work. About every, I won't give a timeline, but every so often I'll sit down and I will watch a magician, like Babel. When I first heard about Babel, when I first understood who Babel was, I watched all his magic that I could find, and there's still some of it that I don't have. I should have asked Babel, tell me exactly where I can find all your stuff. There's some of his magic that I don't have, but the things that I do have, I love it. I love watching him. It doesn't even matter to me the quality of the video, just seeing him do his technique, the way he talks, the way he, and when I was learning his magic, it's just, you are surrounded by it. You're really just deep diving into it, you're immersed, and that really influences you, that affects you. So do that with the magic that you like. Just spend time with it. But I would say it's probably more worthwhile to immerse than to, for me, everybody has a different system. But for me, let's say Darren Brown, Darren Brown has a lot of clips on his YouTube channel. I'm not interested in going to see a clip of his TV show that I've seen, 10 years ago that he's done. For me, that's not going to do a lot for me, unless I'm specifically looking for something. Because I've seen it, I know how it goes. It doesn't do anything for me. But, when I take that time to immerse myself, and I take that time, I'm going to have a day with Darren Brown. And I'm watching all his TV shows, and I'm pausing, I'm taking notes, I'm really thinking about it. That's how I do stuff. That's my process. It's do it whatever way you're comfortable with, but do it. You will find that it helps you. It's invaluable. You're going to love it. And it's fun. It's so much fun to watch magic. I want to talk about influences of magic because one of the most dangerous things, and I'll do this in another video, but one of the most dangerous things that happens when you watch somebody is you unconsciously imitate them. So that's something that we're going to talk about soon, how to avoid that and how to stay away from that. But generally, just watch magic. The first time you're watching it, just enjoy it. Don't overanalyze it. I was watching a TV series for the first time recently. It's a magic series. It's new. I'm not going to name it. But I was watching it and I was so critical. Honestly, the first episode, the second episode, third episode, I didn't have a good time. I was just critical of it because internally my mind would not shut off. I was thinking, man, this magician is cheating in this way. They had the disclaimer at the beginning of the series, the beginning of the episode. They're lying here. This is not, I don't approve of this method. I don't approve of this, what I see going on here. My mind would not shut off. And because of that, it ruined those episodes for me. I couldn't enjoy it. I couldn't see what the audience was seeing. And then I kept watching it. And then finally I was able to get my mind to shut off. And I start to understand, okay, this is how other people are seeing it. Enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it. And so that's what I'm doing now. And I'm having fun with it. At the beginning, I was not having fun. But now I'm having fun with it. So that's something that we need to learn how to do when we're watching magic. Just shut your mind off because we're always thinking about things. We're always thinking about techniques or spectators or blocking or editing. Everything. And that has a place in magic, but for the first time, shut that off if you can. It's hard, but do your best. Just shut it off. And you will be able to enjoy what you're watching a lot more. I also want to say when you are watching something and it is good and you like it and you're curious about what the magician is doing, maybe you want to incorporate some of that into your work, that's when you start watching it over and over again. And that's when you can do a watch through and you can focus on the timing, you can focus on the method, you can focus on the various aspects that are actually going on inside of the performance. But on the first time, just take it easy. And I would say just watch as much as you can. I wish I had something that I did regularly. I don't watch magic regularly. I'll watch magic when video series comes out or something like that. I find I can do very little at once. I can watch maybe 10 minutes or 20 minutes of magic at once, but my mind, it's hard for me to shut my mind off. So unless it's somebody I really like and they have a new TV special and I just want to, see it all, otherwise I'm going to have a hard time shutting off. But if you can incorporate watching magic into your regular routine, the hardest part of this obviously is finding good magic to watch every day. There's not new good magic videos every day, unfortunately, outside of this channel. She's not, focused on performing magic. I mean, it's focused on performing. We're talking about magic. But watching magic it's something you should do regularly, and whether that can be a new performance, whether those are old performances, I would say start with older performances. And there's tons and tons of channels, there's tons of old TV series. You'll familiarize yourself with so much of magic history just by watching what's been recorded on video. And you won't know all of magic history, but it'll give you a solid reference point when you can be like, oh yes, I saw this, in a David Berglis show, and this year, or oh, I saw Uri Geller do that on TV in this show, and this year on this, in this country. You'll have a reference, and that's what you need. Your brain is a computer, so the more that you can put into it in terms of observing, the more familiar you will be with different types of magic ideas. You'll have an easier time coming up with ideas, referencing stuff, finding stuff. Just watch a lot. Don't do it in an unhealthy way, which I can't really give you advice on how to do that, because everybody's different. I know people who can binge watch things, or people who don't want to watch things, so everybody's different, but find your own way. I personally would say, though, you should be watching magic regularly, whether that's magic that you've already seen that you love, whether that's new magic videos that you haven't seen before that may not be new, like maybe they came out 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It's a series, World's Greatest Magic, whatever. But just sit down and find those series and watch. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Just watch as much as you can. As long as you're not screaming internally as you're watching it and you're calm, because everybody wants you to be calm and having a good time, but just watch as much as you can. It's really going to help you. So, and that, when we talk in our previous podcast about approaching the question of style, this is, a follow-up to that, because it's like, how do you develop your own style? Part of everything is watching a lot, familiarizing yourself a lot. And that doesn't mean that you then go and copy or whatever, or take bits and bits and bits and come up with your own style, but it's just, this is part of the process. We're gonna get through that process. We're gonna verbalize it and talk it out, but that is part of it. Just watching magic, watching as much as you can, regularly, as much as you can stand anyways. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was valued to you. If you guys like what I'm doing, the best way to support this channel is to like and share. If you want one of our products, we have playing cards, we have videos, instructional videos, all sorts of things that we talk about here on this channel. Go check it out. The links are all down below. Playing cards, courses, video series, tutorials, explanations. We sell quite a bit, so please check it out. If you see something that you like, pick it up. The shipping is pretty quick nowadays, so, and it helps me a lot, so, and I appreciate it. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create this into a sustainable thing, so I can keep putting out these videos and offering this great advice. So if you guys enjoy this, please support in any way that you can, and thank you, and have a great day.